You win. Perfect.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Nerd Fight.
Where the fight never stops.
That's right. Today we have a very exciting topic. Um, we're going to be talking about a couple of movies that you know you may or may not have seen. One was very popular when it came out, so I'll be surprised if you haven't seen it. Despite my own personal resistance to watching it. And then the other one is I'm not sure how many people have seen it because it's
I think it's fair to say it's a cult classic.
yeah, it's and you know how I'm always like, oh, there's this movie I used to watch as a kid and I can't remember what it was called, and I would describe it to you, and you'd be like, I think it's this movie.
Yep.
You were right. You're right. This is the movie that I used to watch as a kid all the time.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. There were
Oh,
some
good.
scenes that I'm like, oh, I remember this now. So yeah. So
Awesome.
do you want to tell them what movies we're talking about?
Yeah. So as as Eric here so gracefully went through it.
I am nothing if not graceful.
Yeah. We are going to be debating, nerd fighting, two live action mecha movies, which there really aren't that many. So, which kind of surprises me actually that there aren't that as many as we could have. But today we're going to be talking about the cult classic Robot Jox
Yes.
versus Pacific Rim.
Hell yeah.
Bum bum bum. Yeah. So where do we start? We'll just start with our intros, I guess, for each movie. You go first.
All right. As I said a few moments ago, Robot Jox is a movie that I used to watch a lot as a kid, but I never knew the name of it. And I was like, oh, it's just this cool movie where people fight in these robots, and like instead of having a war, they just duke it out over this, with these big mechanical robot suits, and that's how they solve things. It's super cool. And then
Yeah, I remember I would tell you, I was like, yeah, no, that sounds like Robot Jox. And you're like, I don't think it is. No, I'm pretty sure that's Robot Jox.
yeah, and then I rewatched it for the first time in probably 20 years. Despite buying it for super cheap off of Amazon not too long ago, and just immediately forgetting that I had it and not watching it. And then still not even using the Blu-ray that I own and watching it for free on YouTube
Yep.
because it was easier than getting the Blu-ray and putting it in my in my Blu-ray player. But yeah, that was a fun watch. 90 minutes. It wasn't bad. Um,
I honestly don't know if watching it on physical actually improves anything. I think it's just the visual quality and the audio quality is as good as it gets, I think.
yeah, and I'm honestly surprised at how crisp everything looked.
Yeah,
Streaming it on YouTube, they must have had a really good
transfer.
master to pull from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Agreed.
and then the Pacific Rim came
Yeah,
out in what 2011, 2013.
2013. Yeah.
That one, I don't know why, but I didn't want to watch it when it came out. Like, I I for the life of me, I could not tell you why I was resistant to watching that movie, and
Did
I
you
was
just have something against it? Like what was it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what my problem was. I mean that was 13 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Um, but I just like I did not want to watch that movie when it first came out. I'm like, oh, that seems
Cheesy.
yeah, cheesy or lame or maybe I had something against Sons of Anarchy. I don't know. Um, I don't know because I
Because it
actually really
has
like
it
Sons
has Ron
Ron
Perlman
Perlman
and
and
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, but then it also has Idris Elba, or sorry, Sir Idris Elba.
Sir Idris
Um,
Elba, yeah.
so I don't know why I didn't want to like because I watched it. I think it was on a flight. I was like, oh well, I forgot to download something on my iPad. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take advantage of the free in-flight entertainment. And the
Mhm.
best thing that I could come up with was Pacific Rim. And I'm like, you know what? I've never seen this. Let's give it a try. And so on my flight across the country, I I watched it. I'm like, why didn't I watch this sooner? Uh, Because I mean, it's for a live action mech suit movie where they're fighting big monsters, and it's got Ron Perlman and Charlie Hunnam and Idris Elba and
Charlie Day.
Charlie Day. Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and what I forgot to look her up on IMDb, but I know I've seen her in other stuff. The Mako.
Rinko
Um,
Kikuchi.
yeah, I know I've seen her
Yeah.
in other things.
She was in
Um,
Babel, I think.
oh,
Um,
okay,
yeah, a couple other movies,
yeah,
yeah.
but I was like this movie was pretty decent. So I was like, I don't know why I didn't want to watch it because I enjoyed it. And then of course I rewatched it today. Um, and in preparation for our episode. And yeah, it was. I mean, I watched both. Like I watched Robot Jox last night, and then I was a little hazy on like the last half of it because I was tired. So I rewatched the last half of it this morning, and before I started work, and then during my lunch break, I started Pacific Rim
Pacific Rim.
and continued it during dinner. And I was like, it's some quality entertainment. Pacific Rim's, I think, could have been a little shorter, but it was overall it was a good time. Both of them were.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, for me, Robot Jox is something that my cousins and I watched when we were younger, because it came out in what, 1990, 1991,
Yeah,
I think. It was,
1998, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it was finished, but, like, it had an issue, like, in the editing
Oh,
and being released, so it didn't, like, it finished production in, like, '88 or '89, but it wasn't released till later.
that
Um,
explains so much.
yeah. Oh, there's a lot that explains, so I looked up some stuff because 'cause I'll go into that when we get to story. But, yeah, it was one of those, like, growing up, you know, a fan of Voltron, and then also living in the Philippines and being exposed to what would Super Sentai, which would eventually become Power Rangers.
Right.
Um, so, you know, I always wondered why there weren't more live action mecha in the
Yeah.
United States. It just, like, blew my mind, like, why wouldn't you make a live action version? And when Robot Jox came out, I remember my cousins and I were, like, blown away, um, and we wanted to be like Achilles, you know? So that was awesome, and then Pacific Rim came out the year after my oldest was born, and I just remember I still have it because it comes up on my Facebook memories
Mhm.
where, like, I was like, teenage me is squealing right now because of how that's what I, like, dreamed of,
Mhm.
seeing live action, especially mecha against kaiju. That's
Right.
freaking awesome. Being growing up as a Godzilla fan too,
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for more. So, yeah, that was fantastic.
And on and to make it even better, the cherry on top, if you will, the in my opinion, our modern master of monsters, Guillermo del Toro,
Yeah.
doing like I mean, because I was blown away when I watched Pan's Labyrinth and creeped out. um, and then he did, you know, then he did Pacific Rim, and I'm like, he just like he's great with monsters. Like
Yeah.
I was again like the variety in that movie
Mhm.
was like just very, it wasn't one dimensional, or you got to see the ever growing evolution of them. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. Alright, so, let's go into the criteria, like we did at the Batman '89 versus Batman Begins. Let's start off with visuals. Um, how do you feel about the visuals, and which one kinda wins out for you on visuals?
Um, there was so I enjoyed both movies very much. So let me just preface there. But the Robot Jox was very. It had the same issue I feel that Wrath of Khan did, where it was like very, very painfully obvious that it is a product of its time, and
Also
I
very
think
low budget too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep,
And so like there was a couple of scenes with the mecha where it's like, oh, this feels like it came right out of an episode of Power Rangers.
yeah, yep,
But and some of the like visually some of the stuff felt very cheap. But like you said, it's a lower budget film.
mhm.
Um and so I mean the scene where they're on the cage trying to get through the hole in the ceiling,
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
it's that this the visuals on that were a little cheesy.
yeah,
But overall, for being a movie that was made in the late '80s, I think the visuals are pretty good. Do they hold up to today's standards? No,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's if you go into it knowing that hey, I'm watching a movie that was made in the '80s, you won't be disappointed. Um, have
I
I seen better visuals in movies made around the same time? I think so, but
yeah,
higher
yeah,
budget. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
what were you
I
gonna say?
yeah, I wanna just address that part. I think for me, it's like a tale of 2 things. There's the mecha stuff,
Hmm.
and then there's everything else. And I think that the mecha stuff actually holds up really, really well. Like, the miniatures that they used, and even some of the stop motion still looks really crisp, still looks really clean.
Hmm.
Um, I would say some of it looks on par with, like, the stuff that's, like the AT-AT walkers in, like, Star Wars.
Okay.
I think, like, all of the budget went to the mecha stuff because everything else, like, clearly, like, there wasn't as much money for the stuff. Like you said, for that part, for even, like, the flying car that he
Oh
drives and
yeah,
stuff like that, totally, like, lower budget, which I'm glad they spent more money on the mecha stuff because that was, like obviously,
the
that's the
main.
stuff that, like the main attraction, right? So I think
Yeah.
that that actually holds up really well, um, compared to everything else. So, yeah. What about,
Yeah.
Pacific Rim?
That movie is beautiful. Like
Yeah,
the um the what the my brain is what do they call them, the Jaegers,
the
the
Jaegers, yeah.
that like those are gorgeous.
Mhm,
And the monsters, they're like the kaiju, they look incredible too.
yeah,
Um, it's just a very stunning movie. Um, and like it does like no part of that movie feels low budget.
mhm.
Um, like the scenes in Ron Perlman's hideout, um,
Oh, in Hong Kong?
to
Yeah,
yeah, in Hong Kong City, and then the just like the stuff in the what was it like, were they underground? Like in the military area where they're doing Charlie Hunnam and
oh,
them are doing their training. Um,
yeah.
like even that is like
They call it the was it the Thunderdome? Is that what they called it?
potentially.
I
I
think
think
so.
I think my son yelled at me at that point, so I
Yeah,
might not have got that part crisply, but it's overall, just like it's a very visually stunning movie. The
Mhm.
kaiju are awesome to watch. Even uh, like when they're what do they call it? The drift, where they're like in
Oh, yeah, yeah,
sync
yeah.
and doing their choreography.
Mhm.
That that's a any sort of choreography. I'm like, It usually like I don't know the there's a movie made by a director who I'm not too fond of that ruined one of my favorite a live action adaptation of one of my favorite cartoons, uh, and made everyone do like choreographed bending. And and it's
Avatar?
yeah, the choreography just bugs me ever since.
Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
but no, like but even that when they're drifting and they're they got to move in sync to make the Jaeger move. So I mean,
Mhm.
and like and that like even inside the Jaegers was super nice.
The
Uh,
Compods? Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
so I mean overall like I didn't see anything visually about that movie that I was upset about. I'm like, this is yeah, like this is all gorgeous and or for the like if it's supposed to be a seedy environment, it was a very believable seedy environment.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and there was one scene where someone drifted and they weren't used to it. I forget the character's name. It was the scientist dude who's with Charlie Day.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
and he
Gottlieb?
yeah, and he
Yeah.
loses his lunch and there just happens to be a toilet in the wreckage right there. I'm like, all right, that's silly, but I like it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so yeah, I think uh for like and it doesn't seem like it's aging poorly at all. It's like, just having watched it, I'm like, oh, this is still pretty. It's
Yeah, yeah.
so I think they did a very good job with the special effects um and the cinematography of it. It's just like very visually pleasing, even
Mhm.
13 years later. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that clearly the budget is way bigger,
oh
so,
yeah,
it can afford to do that for sure. So I'm not even gonna hold the budget against, Robot
Robot
Jox.
Jox.
And the thing is, Robot Jox, even just the visual design, it's a dystopian future.
Mhm.
It really holds up to like other dystopian feature, like from the 70s and 80s. It's not at the level of like Blade Runner, because Blade Runner is like the best you could probably get as far as visual design for that kind
Right.
of thing. But then you got stuff like Logan's Run and like the original Planet of the Apes stuff, um,
Mhm.
where they depict that kind of like dystopians, even like THX 1138. It all has kind of a similar visual style,
Right.
and they executed just about the same. Um, I would say that because of the lower budget, you couldn't even get to like Total Recall level. But it's not too far from Total Recall level of special effects and design. It was just a lower budget.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas Pacific Rim clearly has a much bigger budget, and they spent a lot of time. I was watching like the behind the scenes kind of stuff on it,
Okay.
and they spent a lot of time really designing the kaiju. They had like 150 or something designs for kaiju,
Oh
and they
wow.
were all developed by different artists. So that was kind of cool. Was he made it a point to name the person who designed this kaiju. Like this is your baby. It wasn't just like random. Like people could be proud of like the kaiju that they designed, which was kind of awesome. I thought like that's a pretty cool thing to do with your staff.
Oh, that is very cool.
Yeah, so I thought that
Huh.
was cool. Um, I think it's just the attention to detail that Guillermo del
Mhm.
Toro had. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but the person who directed Robot Jox, Stuart Gordon, is also the guy who directed Reanimator.
Oh yeah, I think I did see that when I was doing a little IMDb hop in.
Yeah, so clearly used to working with a smaller budget and things like that. So
Mhm.
that really, I think, goes into his wheelhouse and like the stuff that he's designed. Guillermo del Toro you know, just outclasses based on budget alone kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Um, but I did appreciate on both that they had an attention to physics
Mm,
and that the mecha feel large and feel heavy.
yeah.
Whereas, like, you watch, like, Transformers or even Pacific Rim Uprising, you don't feel that at all. They
Oh, okay.
move super fast. It's like they have no weight to them.
Oh, yeah, like, especially the first Transformers movie.
Yeah, yeah, they're like roller skating on things, and it's like not or ice skating, and it's not they don't you don't feel the tremendous, like, weight that these characters would be, you know what I mean, because of the
Right.
size. And you feel that both in Robot Jox and in Pacific Rim. So, I think that was good, they felt as heavy as they should. And I think that gives the action a little bit more, like, kinda realism, so but I think that overall, the biggest thing that probably impressed me the most was the the use of color,
Mm,
um, because it's just a very different visual style in Pacific Rim. It is, the bioluminescence of the kaiju,
mhm.
Hong Kong City, like, all the
Yeah.
neon and stuff. It's just a very, very pretty, well-designed movie. So and the funny thing is there were similarities, and I thought it was kind of hilarious in that, like, um, Alexander's, uh, mecha in Robot Jox looks very much like a German/Russian mecha, like,
Yeah.
design, and clearly Achilles looks very American. And
Right.
then in Pacific Rim, the gypsy, what is it called?
The
Um,
Gypsy Danger?
Gypsy Danger, um, is designed like a B-52 bomber. It looks
Yeah.
very much like an American airplane, whereas the Russian, um,
Mhm.
group, you know, it looks like a nuclear power plant with giant the designs look very similar between, Robot Jox and, um and
Pacific
Pacific
Rim.
Rim, I thought.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kinda cool that those mecha look very similar, harkening back to kind of like their cultural touchstones, but obviously with a much bigger budget. Now there
Right.
is one thing that I'm gonna knock Pacific Rim for,
Oh, okay.
because I hate this. There's just too many details
Oh,
in the inner workings of the mecha. It's also like
okay.
it happens with Transformers too, where there's too many pistons, too many things that are turning in and out,
Oh.
you know? And it's like, I get it, it looks cool, but
It's
it's a
not
little much.
realistic.
Like, it's come on, man. Like, and I think Robot Jox, uh, did a good job of that, where there was, like, some things that moved and stuff, but it
Yeah.
wasn't, like, over full of that. So I will knock Pacific Rim because of that, but I mean, it's a small knock. Pacific Rim still wins out for visuals for me.
Yeah, yeah. I I do like that each of the Jaegers had, like, they had different suits and,
Yeah,
like Charlie Hunnam's was very sleek and it had, I mean, obviously his face is a big uh draw factor for audiences, so of course he had to have a suit that had a clear mask. But
yeah.
then you had, I think it was the Russians that had like these really, like, kind of almost, it reminded me of the Borg.
Kinda,
Like
yeah, yeah, I could see that.
their mask was very Borg like to me.
Yeah, it had
um
the light that kinda went over, like, almost
yeah.
like a goggle, half goggle. Yeah.
I'm like I'm like, "That's interesting," but it
Yeah,
was, I liked the variation between the different Jaegers and,
yeah,
and what their crew wore.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I did enjoy that detail. And
Nice.
so but yeah, like you said, visually, I I think Pacific Rim wins out for me as well. The um like the the different sets on Robot Jox. I think there was like four different sets, it feels like, that the
Yeah,
movie took place in.
yeah,
Um, it was I really so I actually really liked the bleachers
yeah.
uh where
People
they
were watching.
people yeah.
Yeah.
I like, oh, that's cool. And they got the little shade thing that it doesn't offer any protection whatsoever. but
Clearly
yeah,
not.
but it's yeah, I don't know why, but like having those bleachers there, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Um I would never want to be a spectator in that, but
Heck
let me
no.
just watch it on TV. But yeah, overall, um, for being a product of its time, Robot Jox is is fine visually.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just
It's
can't
just
really
not winning this
compete.
category.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yep. Gotcha, gotcha. Alright, so what about audio?
Audio. The Yeah, I thought there was a very good mix in Robot Jox. Like
Mhm.
I don't rem- I don't remember a whole lot of music in the movie. Maybe it wasn't exceptional, so it didn't really stick out to me. But like I could hear the dialogue just
Mhm.
fine, which is very important to me. Because I if I'm watching a movie, I'm at the age now where I always have subtitles on
Yeah,
or closed
yeah,
captioning.
yep.
Uh, but it's because I got kids and they like to be noisy. Uh, so but I don't like if I'm watching something on my own, I don't want to spend all my time reading the bottom of the screen. I want to be able to see what's going on. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and the fact that it was on YouTube, I didn't really have closed captioning or subtitles on for it.
Mm.
Um, and so I was able to hear the dialogue great. It was so that was nice. Um, and the we're doing audio, right? So like sound effects go into that as well. I thought there was the some again going back to the room where they're climbing the cage thing.
Mhm.
Some of the sound effects of that were a little again a little cheesy. Um,
Yeah.
but but like the sounds of the like when the kaiju or not the kaiju when the
Mecca?
yeah when the mecha are fighting, it was like I was like this sounds like two heavy duty machines fighting each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean was not disappointed in that. Um, and let's see, was there anything that I didn't like about the audio? Um, I mean, a more memorable soundtrack would have been nice.
Yeah, yeah,
But overall, I mean, I the audio was fine. It was they mixed it very well. Uh, the yeah,
okay,
it
okay.
was fine.
Fair, 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 fair. What about Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim, it had again not a very memorable soundtrack at all because I can't remember any music from the movie.
Mhm.
Um, but you know the the audio was great for the dialogue. I could hear it for the most part. There's a couple of scenes where it suffers from the 21st century problem of let's make the dialogue really quiet.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but over but overall, like you know, I it was it was still good. Despite the like one or two scenes that I noticed, I was like, wait, what are they saying? And
Mhm.
but that one I had the subtitles on, so I could read what was being said. Uh, so, but it was But overall,
Yeah.
the sound design on it, like the sounds of the kaiju, like, oh, those were great.
Yeah.
So some really good monster sounds there, and uh, I liked uh, I like the sounds that the Jaegers make. When they're fighting, and uh, you know, and when spoiler alert, but when Charlie Day is being Charlie Day, uh, that always makes for a very uh, uh, entertaining auditory experience. Maybe,
Auditory experience. Yeah.
yeah, because he's great when he's being hysterical. Uh, but the
Which he does. Yeah.
and because he's Charlie Day, he's got to do that at some point. I think it's in his contract.
I think
Um,
he's required to do that. Yeah.
it's but yeah, it was not in. There wasn't any one thing that stood out to me apart from the couple of scenes that suffered from the 21st century mixing treatment of being
Mm,
a little too quiet. Uh,
mm.
but but overall, I don't know which one I think was better, because they both were. I mean, they were both fine. Um, they're
You're being so nice
fine.
right now.
Uh, yeah. Huh.
Because I will tell you right now, my opinion is soundtracks, they both sucked. I thought they were both just very forgettable, which is
Yeah.
surprising for me because the composer of Pacific Rim is Ramin Djawadi, who did
Game of
the
Thrones.
theme for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I from what I've heard of his stuff, I like it. But this was kind of more generic and I was a little more, I guess, disappointed.
Yeah. Like I
So it
said,
didn't
it's
have,
absolutely forgettable.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like his score for Iron Man, which was also forgettable. Like, you know, it's not until Avengers where like I felt like there was a strong theme in the
Yeah.
Marvel music. So like, yeah, I was disappointed in the soundtrack. The only thing that saves Pacific Rim for me is the sound design for the kaiju. That's it.
Yeah. The kaiju sounded great.
Yeah,
Like.
the kaiju sounded awesome. There, each one had a distinct voice, like
Mhm.
a distinct creature sound. So I appreciated that. And like, I'm just gonna keep this brief. So Robot Jox, forgettable. Sound design, okay. But there was nothing really that like kind of like stood out, It was
Mhm.
all kind of like generic action movie sci-fi
Mhm.
sound effects. And then Pacific Rim, I thought for the most part was forgettable, except for the sound design for the kaiju. I thought that was awesome. So with a very small sliver, I think that Pacific Rim takes this one, but just barely. So
Just barely. Yeah. For
yep,
for me, it's kind of a tie. Um,
yeah, okay, that's fair.
but
That's fair. I could see it being a tie too.
what's
So
our
let's go to story.
story? Oh man.
Yeah,
Um.
let's go.
oh, So the story for
Collect your
Robot
thoughts.
Jox. Huh. That. I mean, there's definitely a story there present within the movie. Um,
Mhm,
I wasn't overly invested in like okay, the Robot Ducks fight for their country to solve disputes so that we don't have like ongoing wars. Okay, that's cool. Um, and the whole big thing is, you know, in the movie is they're fighting over Alaska. Uh, like okay, I wasn't really invested in that. Uh,
mhm,
um, the but and like overall, like this we've got like the story of Achilles who you know he just wants to finish. He for some reason he was contracted to do so many fights, and this was going to be his last fight. Okay, cool. Um, and then these genetically modified humans are around, and
Hmm.
like, okay, so they're descendants of Khan. Okay, cool. Uh,
No, because they were just bred in the lab.
oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
They weren't
They
they
were
weren't were
genetically
they
modified. They were just well, they technically they're genetically modified, but they are also not born like
they were
normal humans. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They're
Yeah,
that's why they
they
call them tubies.
yeah, like they were like the characters themselves were interesting, but I was just like why are we adding this? And then we've got this whole like rumors of a spy throughout the movie,
Mhm,
and it's like okay, so we got a little bit of intrigue,
mhm.
but like I feel like there was a lot of different story beats that they're trying to get into that 90 minutes.
Yep.
And oh, and then there was the whole thing with Achilles' brother and sister-in-law, and and their kids, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, so he has people that he cares about, okay, but in general, it's like that's scene time that could have been used for you know further character development, between him and Athena, or
Yeah.
between him and what was Alexander?
Alexander.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, why there's so much. I mean, obvious they don't like each other because they're from two different factions, but what they seem to have a certain level of animosity that goes beyond that. Like maybe we could have dived into that a little more. Um, so I mean, I feel like I feel like they had too much going on for a 90-minute movie.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
the spy one, the spy story arc, I felt was the only one that had a satisfying conclusion to it.
A good arc.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But cause okay, what's going? Where are we ending up with Athena? Where are we ending up with Alexander in this? Like, I mean, Alexander, they seem to be bros at the end with their
Mhm.
little fist bump.
Crash and burn.
Yeah. Uh, and so I there was definitely a story. Um,
Mhm.
and maybe too many stories trying to be told. Um, yeah, it was it was meh to me. Aside from the trader arc or the
Yeah.
spy arc, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Pacific Rim, um, I feel like we had a pretty solid story from start to finish. Uh, there was we had character development for the main character. We had some character development for some of the supporting characters.
Mhm.
Um, and the I forget his name, but the d bag with the bulldog. Even he had some character growth and development throughout the movie. Um,
Wait, what was
uh,
his name? His name was. I'm just looking it up real quick. Um. Oh, the Hansen. Herc Hansen and Chuck Hansen. Chuck Hansen was
yeah,
the son. Yeah.
yeah. So Chuck, he had he had a decent, for being a more minor character in the movie. He even had a decent
A small arc.
story arc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and you get a good little bit of backstory on Idris Elba's character, and Mako Mori. Like it's all like I feel like it was a bit, it was a 2-hour movie,
Mhm.
and I wasn't bored during it. It felt like 2 hours,
Yeah. Yeah.
but so I was very aware of how long it was, but I wasn't bored by it.
It's an
And
entertaining 2 hours. Yeah.
yeah, and the story, like, and the different story beats that they were following, they were very satisfying to me. You know, I felt like all the characters had a good amount of character development throughout the movie, and you got to see, uh, you know, their parts unfold, and I like, oh, this is good. Um, Especially how Ron Perlman meets his fate in that movie. That was very
Yeah,
entertaining to me.
yeah.
It was very reminiscent of how uh like, it reminded me of what was it, Deep Blue Sea, was when
Oh,
Sam
with
Jackson
Samuel
dies.
Jackson. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, overall, I feel like the first, as far as story goes, I feel like Pacific Rim takes it over Robot Jox, personally.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with you.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so here's the thing. They both stories for me are very B movie stories. Like they're not it's
The
not
yeah.
Shakespeare. It's not like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's just popcorn fun, right? So,
Yeah.
however, and this is what I was kind of like talking about before, at the beginning of the show. Um, the Robot Jocks for me feels like a series of missed opportunities.
Mm.
It feels like a movie where there's all this stuff that you could talk about and they touch upon stuff, but then it goes away. Like you don't explore it enough. And then I
Yeah.
find out the reason for that. And it's because the director and the writer had two very different movies they were making. The writer was writing a serious science fiction movie
Oh,
that
okay.
dealt with like um kind of a class system, poor people on the outside. That's what the his family's for. The brother, the sister, and the brother-in-law or whatever
Mhm.
are for. And then like kind of the people who were betting on the games and stuff, like they're the poor people. And then the people
Right.
behind the walls are like the rich people and stuff like that. And then there's a whole subset of like these test tube babies who are seen as a different class of people altogether.
Right.
So he was trying to make like a science fiction movie, which
Mhm.
is like all that stuff. The director was trying to make a movie. So, in their own words, he said, the writer was trying to make a movie for adults that children would enjoy, whereas the director wanted to make a movie for kids that maybe adults would enjoy. So they just wanted to do two totally different types of movies. And I think that's where it kind of comes up with this like it feels like the tone is totally off and like things are just not explored enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it has such a low runtime also at 90 minutes because it could have been 2 hours long if they had
Oh,
like
absolutely.
gone one direction or the other more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing for me is that like I actually think the story is more interesting
Mm.
for Robot Jox. I don't think it's executed well. I think that it's lacking a lot of things. But I think that the premise is there. Whereas like I like the story of Pacific Rim. It's a very straightforward, you know, us versus aliens type of movie. It just
Right.
happens to have mecha in it. I think that's awesome. Mecha versus kaiju. I think that's great. I think the premise is there. I don't think it's as strong a premise. I think it's purely popcorn. There's not really much to be said. They kind of mention a little bit like about like, oh, this wall is to protect like the rich people. But besides that, there's
Yeah.
not really any commentary on anything else, you know? Um, and for me, like that's cool. I like my stories to have a little bit more something in it. So I kind of like I kind of like that. The thing that's interesting to me though is one, I was thinking about it from the lens of like modern day about how kind of progressive Robot Jox was
Oh, yeah.
to have like Athena. be such a strong female character
Mhm.
and be very confident and very like just, you know, like um and if it weren't for the fact that she sabotages Achilles and stuff like that, um, you know, you could accuse her character of being woke. Um, but I thought she was a great character. I thought she was a very powerful woman who knew what she wanted. She was very driven. Um, but what was funny to me was how there were similar beats in both movies
Mhm.
where like, you know, after a tragedy, the hero walks away from
Yeah.
everything and then gets pulled in
Mhm.
um to come back for another round, you know, and then they have to contend with a female who is just as good as they are, you know, kind of thing. So I thought that was actually really, really cool for both stories. Pacific Rim pissed me off though. And I hate this when stories do this. And this is why I think for me, Robot Jox wins. They make a big deal. Charlie Hunnam makes a big deal from the very beginning about how important it is to drift,
Mm.
your partner in the drift. So much so that normally, ideally, it should be a twin. Otherwise, it should be a sibling.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it should be a parent child situation.
Right. Right.
They make a big deal about the personal connection. And at the very end, Idris Elba just pairs with another character just like that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's convenient for the plot. And that
Right.
really bothers me. There was no setup, no nothing of him like being paired with anybody else, anything like that.
Right.
And then he does some clever lines to take him down a peg or two and stuff like that. And it's like, that's great. But don't make this thing a big thing if you're not even going to follow through with it. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
there's not even any drama around it. There's not like who's going to be, you know, the other pilot. There's not like a who are they possibly going to get? You know, it's like the plot dictates it's going to be Idris Elba. It's like, and then like he asks like, well, how are we going to work together? Like they even know like
Yeah.
that like this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't be compatible. And then he's basically like, well, I have no emotions, so we're good. It's like, "Dude, what a cop out. Like that
Yeah. Yeah. I
took
have
me
no
out.
emotions, and I know you're
You're just
a jerk.
a narcissistic jerk. So
So I know how to deal with you.
yeah, so it's like that uh, uh that bothered me. That bothered me. So
That's
that
fair.
is very, very unforgivable for me. Oh, also, like, no, I'll let it go. I'll let it go. But yeah,
Oh,
so
oh, come on.
because there's a timing thing
Oh.
where, like, so they make a big point again about how you can't get through the rift, right? Unless you have
Mhm.
the genetic marker of one of the kaiju,
Right.
right? So they get the kaiju as a disguise to go through and to get accepted.
Mhm.
But then the plan is to launch themselves out through these with these like life pods, whatever,
Right.
right? How are they going to go through the rift? You're assuming that whatever gatekeeping there is going to stop once the bomb goes off.
Right.
But there's no guarantee of that. You don't know that that's going to how how are you going to escape when it's
Right.
been clear? It's a big point in the movie that
Yeah.
not even a bomb can get through. So why would something with a genetic material in it get through? Like, ugh, that bothers me. So yeah. So for me, Robot Jox wins story.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
where does that leave us? We got
Uh,
we got visuals goes to Pacific
Pacific
Rim.
Rim. Uh,
Sound was a draw, basically,
yeah.
right? You said,
Yeah, for me it was a draw.
and then story was Pacific Rim for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for you, Pacific Rim wins. For me, Pacific Rim, kind of a draw, kind of ah, Pacific Rims wins, but barely.
Just barely.
Barely. Yeah. So, like, here's the thing, like, okay, Pacific Rim wins. That's fine. I still think the story is just awful, but whatever. But see, what I would love to do is I would love a remake of Robot Jox, but
Yeah,
like full on with like
give it a
actual science fiction, the
yeah,
story that it deserves and the budget that it deserves, I think would be
right.
amazing. So, yeah,
Yeah, that would be nice.
I think that would be amazing. But yeah, so today's winner is Pacific Rim by a
A
hair.
little bit.
Just a little bit Pacific Rim. So, oh wow. That kind of surprises me because I thought Robot Jox would go a little bit further. I know that the story was a little iffy, and I could tell. Like I said, like once you find out that like the writer and the director were just to-
Yeah,
making totally
not in
different
sync.
movies,
Yeah.
yeah, you could totally see it from there. But I think, like I said, the funny stuff is like the stuff that this things has in common, like
Mhm.
like the character of I mean the not the other Tubi, the Tubi
Oh
guy
yeah,
that's like super cocky and stuff,
yeah.
reminded me a lot of Chuck Hansen's
Oh yeah,
character, it's like talking trash about everybody and stuff.
yeah.
And I guess this is just like something you have like I also did really like the spy story. I thought that was actually really well done in
Yeah.
Robot Jox. So I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I really like that, and yeah, seeing how that whole thing played out.
Yep. Funny enough, my favorite part of Pacific Rim, my favorite like storyline or whatever character arc was actually
Mhm.
Charlie Day's character. I actually him and Gottlieb I thought were the best
Yeah.
part of the movie. So yeah, but
That's true.
I highly recommend watching both.
Yeah.
If you watch Pacific Rim, I highly recommend you watch Robot Jox. And if you, for whatever reason, like Eric, refuse to watch Pacific Rim, and maybe you're a Robot Jox fan, maybe check out Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
I think
it's definitely worth a watch.
we need more mecha movies. That's what I would
I
say.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm
Maybe
down for more mecha movies.
well, once we go viral and start making that YouTube money, I say we pull a Markiplier and make our own movie. Because he had great success
Yeah.
with Iron Lung.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
we could take our sweet YouTube money and make a mecha movie, and be like, hey, we could remake Robot Jox.
Dude,
Uh,
I would be so down. I would be so down remaking Robot Jox. That would be my thing for sure.
yeah, I mean, or we could come up with a totally original mecha movie. Uh,
No, I want Robot Jox.
we'll have to deal with licensing, I'm sure, but I think we can make it happen. I mean,
Who's really like I don't think there's any Robot Jox like memorabilia being sold right now. So who's is somebody just like Smaug and just like sitting on that like license and like not
I,
doing anything with it?
I mean, someone's gotta own it, right?
That's true. Somebody has to own it, but I was just like, who's doing anything with that right now?
No one.
It's being wasted.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, we should go look for the rights and make Robot Jox. That would be awesome.
Robot Jox, the lunchbox. Robot Jox, the T-shirt. Uh,
Yes, sir.
Gotta have spot on merch.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, that ends it for this episode of Nerd Fight.
Yeah.
And today's episode of Robot Jox versus Pacific Rim, which is the better mecha movie. The winner is Pacific Rim.
Just by a little bit.
but just a little bit. All right. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and do the hype in. Let your friends know. Share it with your friends and family. We would definitely appreciate it. We're trying to grow this channel.
Yeah, and let us know what you think if you've seen both movies, or if there's a third Mecha movie that you think we should check out.
Is there a third Mecha movie that I'm not aware of?
I have no idea. Maybe.
I mean, there's a movie for everything, so that wouldn't
Right.
surprise me. Yeah. Did you know that there were movies that they were trying to, even though Robot Jox didn't even like make a ton of money, there were other movies that they tried to tie into it.
What?
And like, yeah, there's Robot Warrior, which
Okay.
was robots versus aliens.
Oh.
And then there was like another one, and they tried to put they tried to call it Robot Jox too, but it had nothing to do with Robot Jox. And also, did you know that the original name for Robot Jox was Robot Jox?
Oh.
But they got a warning letter from Carolco, I think, for RoboCop.
Oh.
So they had to change the name to Robot Jox and not Robo Jox. That's crazy.
Because they're so similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But yeah, so let us know. Did we get this right, or do you disagree, or do you want to vent off and talk about something else that maybe we missed?
Let us know in the comments. Yeah.
Alrighty, that wraps up this episode. Thank you for watching.
Bye.